Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're looking at the Iron Grenadiers AGP. Here in 1988, we do see three other groups being formed. We do have the Iron Grenadiers, we have the Night Patrol, as well as Tiger Force. Some of these vehicles are going to be repeats, especially more for the Night Patrol and the Tiger Force. I'll probably just do one big video just showing what they all are instead of going through stats and redoing something that we've already done. Just wanting to give a little heads up because we're going to start hitting into this stuff. But the Iron Grenadiers, for the most part, I'm going to say are probably going to be different vehicles. Now, looking at what we have here, AGP, to be honest, in my view, it almost looks like Destro's version of what, and I'm going to mess this up here if I don't look at it. The Dreadnought. Shoot, I got to go back here. The Dreadnought air skiff. As I'm looking through our completed videos and what we all have here, just kind of going from there. All right, so here on yojo.com, we do have some nice pictures, and then they do have some of the extra stuff for us, which is where we always start. So the AGP anti-grav pod or anti-gravity pod was first released in 1988. It did include a pilot nullifier, and it was also available in 89, and unfortunately was discontinued in 1990. Let's see, there was a mail-in offer that was available later on from Hasbro Direct, and we do get to see nullifier here. Getting the characters with the vehicles are always kind of nice, but the only downfall is when you have a smaller vehicle like this and you're getting the character quite often, if you were lucky enough to get a second one, now you have duplicates, but it is what it is. All right, so let's look at all the views. Of course, when I was a kid, I very rarely got duplicates, but unlike today, I'll purposely try to get a second vehicle if I can, especially if there's small ones. All right, so we have a nice front view. Like I said, to me, it's almost a take on the air skiff from Destro. Probably a lot better take on it, and that is a very small picture. I do apologize. I don't know why your pictures are so small. Here we go. So we do have an isometric. It is kind of raised up here. You're going to be kind of half standing, half sitting. We do have the two cannons in the front, and we have 4 missiles instead of 2 from our air skiff before from the dreadnoughts. It's an interesting concept. The rotating jet engine thrusts are also reminiscent to what we see with the my mind is blanking here. I want to see Skyhawk. If my mind catches up here, I would be great, but it's just failing all the way around. I'm gonna cheat, and we're gonna get there. But because what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna say, because I know we did this one early on, and my mind is just not doing so good this morning. Like I said, I want to call it a Skyhawk, but I know it's not. I don't think it's a Skyhawk. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. As I get all the way down here, because we did this a long time ago. As you hear my mouse just clicking away, just trying to get back to the. It was a Skyhawk. All right, I'm right. My mind doesn't want to get there, but we're there. Okay. So easily broken or lost pieces. Unfortunately, the missiles are sometimes lost or broken or whatever. So those are some of the concerns there. This has been featured in trading cards, comic books, cartoons. We do have a Marvel cover that it's on here. And then we also have, let's see here if I can get. Here it is in a video game from Nintendo way back when. and there's our commercial for it. So, you know, we do get to see it in different mediums, which is always nice to be able to do. Now, it does look like we do have a different version of this. We have a stealth version. Um, I don't know what makes it stealthier. It looks like it's more red on here on my screen than what we had before. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, and then this also retailed for $5.99 way back when. Um, and it's interesting to see again those prices when we get to look back there. Okay, so as we bring this into our GI Joe D6 universe, which is also being can be very well shared with Star Wars because that's where the books and all that come from. We have the AGP now. Like I said, for the most part, in my mind, I think of this as the Sky Sleds here. So, um, so a lot of this is kind of copy and pasted from that machine itself. And let's kind of go over this and everything. So, of course, this is what we're calling the anti-gravity pod. Although the way the engines are being done, it doesn't seem like it's going to be any different than the Skyhawk. So, speed or scale, roughly about 10 feet ish. I don't know exactly how long to make this. You're kind of standing, kind of sitting. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, a crew of one. I don't have any passengers being listed as far as being on here. Cargo capacity, we'll keep it down to just about 44 pounds. I think that should probably stay the same. Although, seeing that this does have a um, windscreen cover, whatever you want to, a cockpit cover, um, I will change this to a full. And altitude, this is where things get a little interesting. Should we actually increase this? I think maybe we could. Why don't we go 1 to 15 meters, or we can go up to 30 meters? Why not? We'll see. Destro got a little bit better with this. This also has the the jet engines on the side here. So maybe we should be able to go a little higher than that because it's not just an A grav; it's really going off of the jet engines. So in that regards, this is kind of just a I don't know. Why don't we list it a lot like because I've got the Dragonfly handy. So how high altitude? We have 6.4 kilometers. So in that case, why don't we? If that's if that's what a helicopter can typically go up to, why don't we see about going up to something like that? Once I can get back to our anti-grav pod. And I'm just looking at it just for the fact that we have those jet engines on the side here. So, um, oops, here. Okay, so let's kind of change this up here. Well, 1 meter to we'll go 4 kilometers, 4 km. That works. I think that gives us a good range. And Destro, I'm sure, because he's made plenty of other machinery here, I think that'll work very well. Maneuverability. Um, the air skiff was at a 3.2. This has got a little bit more platform here. I think we'll keep that, you know, perfectly fine. Uh, I think maybe we should be able to go a little bit faster than that. We have the Sky Storm here. We're going 220. Should we actually up that or leave it be? Why don't we'll leave it be for now? It's just one of those things. You have a base vehicle, and I think you're getting to see a little bit more of this. I'll have a base vehicle that I want to base it off of, and then you go through and say, this is something that needs to be changed here. Should we go faster? Should we not go faster? Um, as far as changing the speed, there's a part of me, now I'm going to mess this up and I will have to look this up here. Let's go 120 miles an hour. So I don't know what that refers to. So that means now I got to use my handy dandy phone because that's the easiest, fastest way I can do it. Uh, we're doing what 80, 120 miles an hour in kilometers, and then we get comes out to being 193. So with a little change here, so we'll call it 194 kilometers an hour. So we're going a little bit faster. Destro being a little bit better or more used to doing this than what the dreadnoughts are. So I think we got that. Now, instead of having the 2 missiles, now we got 4 missiles. And if you notice, I'm starting to get all this a little bit more of concussion missiles, which is what I would label this as, is going to have this damage, and so on and so forth. So we do have our 4 missiles. Our ranges out here has a fire control of 3D plus 2, damage is 7D per missile. And then we have dual laser cannons, which is sitting right there. They're fire linked. Now, this, instead of being personnel, I think we're going to change that to speeder scale. They look a little bit more beefed up. I didn't see any schematics on this, so actually I think we flipped through it real fast and we were having some issues, and I was talking about other stuff. So I'll just bump this up to speeder scale because these look a little bit more beefed up. And we have a fire control of 1D and damage of 6D. So the missiles, we can easily play that off as they are guided, and the laser cannons, yeah, we can kind of move them up and down a little bit, but for the most part, you have to aim our vehicle towards it. Um, yes, we have a good maneuverability, but it still kind of goes off the pilot skill. So with that, I think that gets us a good representation of this, and we kind of get to go through. Um, and like I said, this is how I go through a lot of the vehicles. If I have something I can reference that gives me somewhat of a starting point, great, and then we have to change everything along the way. And if you watch some of the other stuff, like I'm doing some Star Trek stuff at the moment, Star Wars, everything's already in the book, so I don't really have to change anything. But if I was going to make something of my own, there again, what would be something similar that I want to base it off of, and then where do we change it? So we have you have your starting point in a design kind of line here. This started from this and it kind of went to that, and then it's changing and so on and so forth. And we see that in today's military and all that as well. Now, just throw this out here. I was a driver on a Bradley. Uh, I was mechanized infantry. So as far as that went, uh, the Bradley was the end point. Now they have a new version of what the Bradley is, that they're coming out with, and uh, I could look at the design because we did get a 113, and I've seen 113s in the past. That's something that was used during Vietnam. That was a starting point. They had made that big and boxy, but they wanted it to do more. And then there's different designs for different things that they did with the 113, and they named it, different things accordingly. But then by the time I got in, we've had the Bradley, and even there, I was on what the third iteration of it. So it went from the Bradley to the A1 to the A2. So, and then there's a subcategory where I was mechanized infantry, and then there was a scout version. And you get the idea. We have the lineage of what things are, and you can kind of see how things go. So, with that, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for stopping by. It's always wonderful having you stop by. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.